Let's be real, everyone complains from time to time, but dealing with a constant complainer in your life can be pretty draining. So here are some tips on how to handle those complainers. Peak performance and mindset coach Hina Khan is joining us this morning. Good to see you this morning.
Oh, good to be here. Thank you.
Let's get right into it.
Okay,
So we all do
it,
but why do we complain?
Well, I want to say there is a distinction between complaining and sharing a concern. When somebody is sharing a concern, they're usually looking for a solution. They do want to solve a problem. But when you're with somebody that's complaining all the time, it's more like venting, and they want to bring you on side. They want validation, and they're not necessarily looking for a solution. And you're sometimes commiserating with them because it can be a bonding experience. For some people, complaining is a bonding experience.
And I was telling you off camera, there's a woman in my life when every time I talk to her, it's like the only way she knows how to connect with people is to complain about something, and then that is like a snowball effect, and then we're complaining, and then all of a sudden I'm in it, and I'm like, am I really annoyed by the cup size at the table? You know what I mean? It's like that effect. I don't even know if she knows she's doing it.
I don't think she does, in all honesty. You know, there's a difference between like water cooler talk, like talking about the weather, the traffic, because you can move off of those.
Right.
But the complainer, like the chronic complainer that you're speaking of, that's the lens that they see the world through. The glass is half empty. You're drained and exhausted because even if you're trying to offer, like, well, what about this? What about that? They're not buying it. They're still finding things to complain about. And honestly, they could have grown up in a home that was negative and pessimistic. And so everything was always a complaint, and they look for it. It's just draining to be around.
Can we put that board back up? Because these signs of a complainer, which you mentioned, complaining is a habit, the glass half empty. They don't want to find a solution?
No, and they get attention and sympathy. Like, you know, even for that person may receive like, oh my gosh, that's awful. Yeah, this is really bad. And they feel closer to you by connecting, but they don't realize that they're really repelling other people.
They really are. Okay, so complaining can lead to a cycle of negative feedback. What is the best way to tackle this if we find ourselves in that situation?
Well, it's difficult if you're a people pleaser because you don't want to seem rude or insensitive, but you've got to disentangle yourself from those conversations. And here's what you're going to find. They will start coming around to complain to you because they will know you're not available for it. I sometimes think of it like a neighborhood cat. If you're out feeding, putting a bowl of food, it's going to keep coming around. But the minute that you stop, it might come around for a few days, but then it realizes that you're not going to be feeding it anymore. Same with the complainer. If you're not feeding the complaints all the time, they will stop coming to you to complain. And it's worth your peace of mind and your well-being.
So what does that sound like, though, in practical terms? Is there language that we can use?
Yeah.
Like, what does that sound like?
So when somebody, like even this example of this woman, so I don't add anything to it. Like, I won't be like, oh, really? I'll just say, that's interesting, and then I'll change the subject. Or sometimes I just stare at them blankly. It gets a bit uncomfortable. Or I'll walk away because I would rather be in my own thoughts. Give me silence than hearing complaints, especially when somebody doesn't want to move off of it.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that.
You don't want to be stuck in that space. You also suggest treating real life like social media when dealing with complainers. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know how on social media, if you're showing interest in something, it keeps showing you that thing.
Totally.
So do your in real life algorithm by curating your interactions and think about, does this person need to be muted or blocked?
Don't you wish you had a mute button a lot of the time?
I know, and so we've got to learn to say no, but also thinking, what conversations do I want to be a part of? What feels uplifting? What feels positive? And then also thinking about, what do I need to drop? Like, maybe there's some people I need to spend less time with. Maybe I don't want to be available for complaining. What would I need to change about myself so that people don't think that it's okay to come to me and just spend time with me complaining?
It is. It's so fascinating. What a great conversation. I like the idea of just staring at somebody blankly, like, like you can't hear them. I like the staring at the blank and then just walking away.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because your peace of mind is worthy of being uncomfortable for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here, and always good to have you. Have a great day. Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.